These are 9 times Francine Smith finally tasted the karma cocktail she's been stirring for 20 seasons, ending with a payback so savage even Roger winced. Ready? Buckle your seatbelt, grab a Costco-sized jug of Franzia, and let's start with a little pillow talk that goes very, very wrong. But that's nothing compared to what's hidden at number 7. 1. The 200. The episode kicks off with Stan crossing a milestone the CIA keeps unofficially, but Roger, of course, shouts it from the rooftop. This is the 200th human being Stan has personally neutralized in the field. As soon as the champagne cork hits the floor, every one of those still living adversaries bands together under the banner Project Reaper. Langley Falls turns into a war zone overnight. Power grids sabotaged, phone lines cut, the Smith house set ablaze, with Molotovs made from Stan's own duty-free liquor. Francine's first reaction is to whisk the family into her Pinterest-inspired panic plan. An RV crammed with enough wheatgrass shots and affirmation chalkboards to last a month. Reality bites when the generator shorts, the composting toilet overflows, and the kids stage a coup for bottled water. By the 3rd night, Francine's positive thinking podcasts are drowned out by enemy drones circling overhead. The price she pays? Watching Stan call in every moral IOU he's owed, while she's stuck rationing dry shampoo to keep a shred of normalcy. But that RV isn't the end of the nightmare, because Francine still has to host a Peace Summit potluck for the reformed villains in season 13. 2. Tears of a Clooney. In 1996, Clooney prank called Francine to say you'll never make it in Hollywood. She's nursed the grudge ever since. Francine has stewed for years because Clooney once thanked everyone but her in an Oscar speech. Cut to the present. Francine, now a suburban mom, still hoards that tabloid in a fire safe. Roger smells revenge and transforms into Uber publicist. They storm Hollywood, buying bot followers, bribing TMZ, even blackmailing Don Cheadle into teaching Francine how to smize. It works. Clooney's publicist invites her to co-chair a UNICEF gala. Then Clooney cancels after learning Francine's plot, leaving her alone on stage at a charity telethon. The gala tanks. Francine's video apology gets ratioed, and she ends the night alone in a hotel elevator repeating, "At least Val Kilmer follows me on Twitter." She vows revenge again, but first she'll need Clooney's address from Roger, and that costs 5 crates of Chablis. 3. Vacation goo. Francine dreams of real sand between her toes, but Stan secretly books every family trip through the CIA's AR vacation room, dunking the Smiths in goo-filled pods. Hyper-real VR vacations that let him sneak back to work. After discovering 14 fake trips, including a Paris where baguettes taste like printer paper, Francine lures everyone for one last family cruise.
Family hug!
But once the pod opens, they learn it's fake again. They wake up on the SS Lulu, buffet overflowing. Then Stan finds the reset panel. He hits it. They wake in a pod inside another pod, this time on Mars, then in a Tudor village, then a Civil War reenactment where Francine has to sew Steve's leg back on because the sim got too authentic. The final reveal, they're still in Langley Falls' basement, 6 months have passed, and Klaus has been charging tourists to watch their comatose bodies drool. Francine's quest for one perfect memory instead nets her and Stan's overtime bill hits $50,000 and the goo stains every carpet. She swears off simulations until Stan unveils Pod Plus with actual drink service and an undo button. 4. A piñata named Desire. Langley Falls Community Theater announces open auditions for a streetcar named Desire. Francine has practiced Blanche's monologue since college, but Roger schemes to juice Stan's ego. A few shots of Stanskay vodka later, CIA stiff Stan transforms into a swaggering Stanley Kowalski and lands the lead. Francine, cast as third flower seller, plots sabotage. She swaps Stan's prop bourbon for mouthwash, seeds the local press with rumors of his method halitosis, and hides a dead squirrel in his dressing room AC. Shock twist. Each disaster improves Stan's sweaty realism. Opening night, he vanishes. Roger signs Stan to an off-Broadway revival, unpaid. The director drafts Francine as Blanche with 0 rehearsal. She botches the accent, forgets lines, and accidentally hurls the real bourbon into the conductor's pit. Critics crown the disaster postmodern brilliance, crediting Stan's absence as presence, while the critic calls Francine less Blanche Dubois, more Blanche Dubust. Humiliated, she quits theater until a call from Regional Cats asks if she can hiss on cue. 5. Star Trek. Steve, Snot, and friends start a garage band. Francine hijacks it and renames them the Aw Yeahs. Francine volunteers as Road Mom, then hogs rehearsal, busting out a shockingly on-pitch synth-pop verse. Roger hears dollar signs, auto-tunes her voice, and rebrands Scab into Francine and the Phasers. She swaps Steve's tricorder riffs for glitter cannons, hires bodyguards, and gives Variety an interview trashing garage band aesthetics. At the showcase, Steve's mic is dead, Roger singing backstage, and Francine lip syncs until the backing track skips, revealing her secret. The label execs walk, Steve's heartbroken, Roger sells the scandal to VH1 bands reunited and pockets the fee. Francine ends the night in the tour van, alone with a trunk full of unsold MILF with a Starfleet merch. She vows to support Steve's next hobby, until it involves experimental puppet metal. 6. The longest distance relationship. Jeff's been abducted by Roger's people and is hurtling through space.
Actually, babe, we have no idea where we are.
Haley holes up listening to Jeff's mixtapes. Francine, desperate, forces girls' night after reading a Cosmo article titled "Grief is Ugly, Makeovers Aren't." She drags Haley to Nacho Dan's singles cantina, hires off-duty firemen to flirt, stages a choreographed conga. Haley storms out. That night, Jeff hacks a deep space relay and calls.
Get it? It's like definitely, but with my name.
Stan picks up, yells, "Wrong number, space perv," hangs up. When Haley discovers the missed call on caller ID, Francine admits everything. The guilt hits her Visa. The Cosmic Collect call charged $9.95 per minute, and Jeff talked for $30. $300 to Francine's card for a call Haley never heard. Haley forgives her, but takes the card to fund her own satellite dish, leaving Francine to explain the 18-foot roof installation to Stan. And when Jeff crash lands in season 11, he brings the invoice from AT&T Exoplanetary Roaming. 7. Shallow vows. Stan's daily Hour of Power gratitude journal reveals that every entry about Francine reads, "Hot rack, tight bod." Furious, she commissions Francine gains weight on purpose.
I'm here.
Roger later fattens Stan to match her. Stan balks, so Roger builds him a matching suit claiming body equality. Soon both Smiths are housebound, competing on motorized scooters for the fridge. After a floor collapse insurance claim, they confess. He is shallow, she is manipulative. They strip the suits, only for Roger to rent them to a local BBQ joint's mascot who never returns them. The rental fee? $40,000, billed to Stan and Francine's American Express. Karma paid in cash. Roger still wants the money, so guess which couple he signs up for a reality weight loss pilot without telling them. 8. My Morning Straitjacket. Dave Matthews Band rolls into town. Francine lies to Stan so she can camp overnight for tickets, abandoning the kids. She drags the family into the Gorge of Dave. Francine trades Klaus's bowl for veggie burritos.
Ew, awesome! I also found this.
Buys a $200 henna full-body tattoo, and pledges loyalty to roadie guru Scroat. Stan stages an intervention by faking a psychiatric kidnapping. He and Roger dress as orderlies, sedate her lightly, and haul her to a makeshift ward set behind the stage, where Dave never appears. Substitute with Roger posing as roadie Scroat, who cons Francine out of $500. She snaps out of it, but the deprogramming bill from Dr. Scroat is $900, and it's Roger under the mask again. Francine pays in guitar. A month later, she receives a Dave Matthews restraining order, framed, autographed, and uninsured. 9. Finances with wolves. Stan secretly borrows against the house so Francine can open Muffin Buffalo. Opening day, Stan peels out in his new CIA-issued Mustang, fishtails through the display window, and indirectly frees Bad Boy, a wolf Roger rescued.
On the way up.
Bad Boy does escape and bites a customer, triggering lawsuits that sink the bakery. Insurance refuses under the Wolf Rampage exclusion. Fine print Francine initialed. She ends up baking in the garage, selling stealth cupcakes through PTA meetings to chip away at the debt, while Stan hides the claw marks under a CIA tarp labeled plausible deniability. But in season 19, she finally reopens. Directly above a CIA meth lab, Bullock forgot to broom out. What could go wrong? That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed, hit subscribe before a wolf secures your Wi-Fi, and remember, in Langley Falls, what goes around comes back with claws.